Om. 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Suryakoti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, Saraswati Namastubhyam, Varade Kamarupini, Vidyarambham Karishyami, Siddhar Bhavatu Me Sada. ओम श्री मात्रे नमः। वर्स नंबर 75 से शुरू करते हैं। तो
I'm very excited for this one, Guruji, because इसमें
हम्म
द्राविड शिशु का mention
हाँ
है.
सो द्रविड़
I heard
शिशु
about this.
नॉट द्राविड़ शिशु, द्रविड़
Dravid,
शिशु।
Dravid,
हाँ।
Dravid, Dravid.
तव स्तन्यं मध्ये धरणिधर कन्ये हृदयतः, तव स्तन्यं मन्ये धरणिधर कन्ये हृदयतः, पयः पारावार परिवहति सारस्वतीं तमिव, पयः पारावार परिवहति सारस्वतमिव, तव स्तन्यं मन्ये धरणिधर कन्ये हृदयतः, पयः पारावार परिवहति सारस्वतमिव, दयावत्या दत्तं द्रविडशिशुरास्वाद्य तव यत्, दयावत्या दत्तं द्रविडशिशुरास्वाद्य तव यत्, कवीनां प्रौढानां मजनिकमनीयः कवयिता, कवीनां प्रौढानां मजनिकमनीयः कवयिता, दयावत्या दत्तं द्रविडशिशुरास्वाद्य तव यत्, कवीनां प्रौढानां मजनिकमनीयः कवयिता, तव स्तन्यं मन्ये धरणिधर कन्ये हृदयतः, पयः पारावारः परिवहति सारस्वतमिव, दयावत्या दत्तं द्रविडशिशुरास्वाद्य तव यत्, कवीनां प्रौढानां मजनिकमनीयः कवयिता, तव योर stanyam, the breasts, tava stanyam, manye, I think, dharani dhara kanye, dharani dhara, holder of the earth, kanye, daughter, hridayataha, from the heart, paya, paravaraha, paya means milk, paravara means ocean, paribahati, lifts, saraswatam, of Saraswati, Eva, this, Dayavatya, the somebody who is very kind, Dattam, given, Dravida Shishu, child of Dravid, Aswadya Tava, Aswadya, your, Tava means yours, Aswadya, having tasted, having drunk, having tasted, Yat, by reason of, Kavinam, poets, Praudhanam, famous poets, Ajani. So Ajani, he has become to be known as Ajani, Praudham Majani, he has become to be known as Kamaniya Kavayitaha, a perfectly beautiful poet. So what is he saying? He is saying that this, because your breast milk, oh, acha, firstly, O maiden born to the earth supporting Lord, Dharani Dhara Kanye, Dharani Dhara, who is holding the earth up. So one of the meanings that is given over here, who is holding the earth up, is the whole principle of the Adishesha, right? Because the world is supposed to be on the head of Adishesha. One meaning. Another meaning, Varaha, holds the Dharani on the head. But these meanings don't make sense here, because she cannot be the daughter of Adishesha or the daughter of Varaha. Then what is it? See, if you see a table or a chair, and you will see that there are some nails that have been put, and the table is held together because of the nails. Correct? यदि वो कील को निकाल दिया जाए, if the nails are removed, then the table will fall apart. So, what are the nails that are holding the earth together? The Himalayas. They are the nails. कितना सुंदर है ना ये कवि का ये thinking सोचिए. So, not Dharanidhara means Varaha, not Dharanidhara means, does not mean Adishesha. Dharanidhara, something that is holding the earth together. They're like the nails that hold the chair together. Similarly, the Himalayas. So, Dharanidhara Kanye, O daughter of the mountains. Dharanidhara is the mountain. Dharanidhara Kanye. Then she goes on to say, Tava Stanyam Manye. I think of your breast milk, I think, O mother, it is as if it is from the ocean of nectar, payah para, our ocean of milk, parivahati, flooding, right, flooding out, saraswatam iva, like the knowledge that comes from Saraswati. It is flooding as if it is coming from the knowledge of Saraswati. If it is offered, and because you are so kind, you have offered it to the Dravida Shishu, Dayavatya Dattam, you the kind person, very kindly, she who is kind to this entire universe, you have very kindly given it to the Dravida Shishu, who having tasted it, Aswadya Tavayat, having tasted that milk from you, Kavinam Praudhanam, in famous poets, he has become counted as one of the great ones. Now, what is the real meaning of all of this? So first we have to also look at what Sita ji is very excited about. What is Dravida Shishu? The Dravida Shishu has been interpreted in two ways. One, Acharya is talking about himself. And Acharya is talking about himself, meaning he is saying he is the Dravida Shishu, and therefore he is the person who has been granted the ability to be counted as a great poet. Now,
could you please repeat that, please?
So, Acharya is saying, I have been blessed with the milk from the breasts of Devi. Because of the fact that I have been blessed with the milk from the breasts of the Devi, the poetry that you are thinking is so beautiful. Just now we said, oh, such a beautiful poetic image. The earth is held together by the nails in the form of the Himalayas. Such a beautiful poetic image. Where did that come from? Oh, it has not come from me. It has come from the milk that she gave, and from that the poetic intuition, the kavitvam has come from there. There are other commentators who say that Acharya in none of his works has ever referred to himself. The last line, Acharya Shankara Krita, that has always been added by somebody else. Right? Any shloka you take, right? Any work you take, Buddha Karata Modakam, who has written Acharya Shankaracharya Krita, Srimad Bhagavat Pada Adi Shankaracharya Krita, Buddha Karata Modakam Ganapati Panchashloki, right? So, Pancharatnam, that is how it will be written. Who has written that? He has not written it himself. Somebody else has written. So, in entire works, there is only one reference to Dravida Shishu. It is very counter his normal behavior to be able to say he was writing about himself. So then who was he writing about? So the other thinking is that he was writing about Sambandar, Tirujnana Sambandar. He is one of the Nayanmars. There are 63 divine saints of Shiva who are the eternal companions of Shiva. They are the Shiva Ganas who were born on earth to spread Shaiva Dharma. And there were 63. There is one particular devotee, I've forgotten his name. He was from Kanchi, and Mahapareva gave him the upadhi of the 64th Nayanmar. So he was such a strong devotee that Mahapareva himself, who I personally believe was a Shivamsha, gave him the upadhi of 64th Nayanmar. Such a strong devotee he was. But anyway, 63 Nayanmars. All of these Nayanmars, they have had personal direct experience of Shiva. And one of the early ones is Tirujnana Sambandar or Sambandar. Sambandar is tentatively 6th century. 6th century. So if you 6th century, the possibility that he was just preceding Acharya is a very close possibility. Number one. Number two, since Acharya has never written about himself, was he writing about Sambandar? And is there something here? Acharya would, another reason as to why I personally believe that Acharya is not talking about himself, is he would not talk about having access to the breast milk of Devi. So that is putting himself on a very large ego platform, right? So what is the story with Sambandar? Sambandar is the story is very beautiful. He was born and he used to not interact with people around him. He was born with grace. His parents went, they prayed, they got a child. They knew that the child is very blessed child and so on and so forth. But the child was not interacting with the world. When he was 3 years old, the parents wanted to go and visit a particular Shiva temple. So the child was crying at the top of his voice. So they said, we can't take this crying child into the temple. We will put him under this tree. We pray to Parvati Parameshwara, who are nothing but the mother and father of this entire universe. Please take care of this child while we go and visit you in this form here in this temple. So they went. When they came back, this child's mouth was full of milk, and there was milk dribbling from his mouth. So the mother got very angry, and she said, "Who fed you?" Because no mother wants her child to be fed by somebody else, right? So who fed you? And he burst out into a song. 3 years old, he burst out into a song saying that I have been fed from the breast milk of the mother of the universe. Now this links to this particular verse so beautifully. And Sambandar, his poetry is very excellent poetry. So therefore, because Sambandar got the milk directly from your breasts, O mother, you made him the poet amongst all poets. You made him recognized as a great poet. That is the beauty of this verse. He's not talking of himself. This is my opinion. There are differences of opinion in amongst various scholars who are much bigger than and much more learned than I am. But I am only putting my viewpoint from a perspective that Acharya has never talked about himself, and he will not talk about him having access to the breast of Devi. The breast which is being used by Skanda and Viradavatra in the earlier verse. The breast which is from which Ganesha and Skanda are drinking, in that level I will put myself and have milk from that breast. I don't think that Acharya would have done that for himself. So therefore, I doubt whether Dravida Shishu is that particular reference to himself. Although many commentators have said it is a reference to him. They said, and therefore, who is it a reference to? I feel it is a reference to Sambandar, who was just preceding, just 200 years or 150 years before Acharya. So the memory of Sambandar and his stories would have been there very easily. Yes, Sitaji. You want to say
Is
something?
there any deeper meaning like a to this?
Yes. We're coming to
that. Okay.
So now the other thing. What is it that is Acharya actually talking about? Acharya is talking about the fact that, see, he's slowly describing each part of the body, right? We have seen him describe the neck. Now he's describing the breasts. Typically, when a male is attracted to a female, he views the breast as an object of sensuality, as an object of sex. What did Acharya do? He transformed this object of sensuality, lust, and sex to something as a source of inspiration, of divine inspiration, not only inspiration, of divine inspiration. So now, if I am in tune with this particular shloka, then when I look at somebody of the opposite sex, and I see that person has very beautiful breasts, what should come to my mind is that these are the representations of the breasts of the Devi, from whom, where even my thinking, my intuition, my ability to speak, my ability to be able to comprehend, all of that is coming from that. She has fed me that intuition. She is the one who is the source of all this intuition. She is the one who is the source of all the beautiful words that we can speak. He is the source of all the beautiful words that we can understand. And therefore, he says, Saraswatam Nida Iva. Saraswatam, the flow of knowledge, the world, the wisdom of this world and the world beyond, all of that has come from nothing but just a few drops of the milk from the. And he doesn't say it is milk. He says it is from the milk. It is equivalent to the milk from the ocean of milk. Paya Paravaraha. Right? And what is that ocean of milk? It is nothing but Amrita. Right? Vishnu is supposed to be lying down on that ocean of milk, which is purely Amrita. So that Amrita, incidentally, what is the color of that ocean of milk?
Is it white?
Yes, white.
Is it not white? नहीं है?
Blue है.
Blue.
तो इसका भी बहुत ब्यूटीफुल स्टोरी है. There are a lot of Sanskrit works in which especially the Alvars have described in Tamil there is this, it is called the Parkadal, right? The ocean of milk, Parkadal. Kadal means sea, Pal means milk ocean. And there are a lot of works in the Alvar works where the ocean has been described as blue. Now, what happened is, one very famous and well-known jeweler, he came with a beautiful blue sapphire. He came with a very beautiful blue sapphire. He went to Kanchi and he offered it to Mahapariva. And Mahapariva was sitting there and he was sorry. Before that, the story goes like this. So there was this person who came and asked the question to Mahapariva, what is the color of Parkadal? And how is the Alvar saying that milk is blue? So Mahapariva sometimes would answer, sometimes would not answer. He did not answer. He kept silent. Okay, the other person kept sitting. Then one jeweler came with a very beautiful blue sapphire, very large blue sapphire, and he said, please make this into a crown for Chandramaulishwar. So when Chandramaulishwar crown is being decorated, when you are doing puja for him, please make a crown out of this. Here is the stone for it. So he looked at the jeweler, he looked at one of his attendants, and he said, please bring some fresh milk, unboiled. Go to the tabela, take the cow, fetch some milk. So everybody was surprised. This is an odd time. Why is he asking for milk? He does not drink milk at this time. But nobody had the courage to say, no, we will not do it. Why are you asking? Nobody had the courage. So they went and fetched the milk. Immediately he took that stone and he put it inside the milk. This jeweler was very shocked because one of the ways of testing a blue sapphire is to put it in the milk. And the milk, after a certain period of time, will take a blue tinge if it is a real jewel. So he just put it inside, he kept talking and meeting all the other devotees. And then he suddenly looked at the milk and he called the earlier person who had asked the question. what is the color of this milk? He said, it is blue. What is the color of milk? He said, white. But why is this blue? So he did not know. He didn't have an answer. So because he did not know, iske andar mein stone hai. He picked up the stone and he showed the stone. And he said, if one small stone can make this milk blue in color, then if that blue man is sleeping on that white ocean, what will be the color of the ocean? So Par Kadal, the Payah Paravara, Payah Paravara, the ocean of Amrita. So what is coming from her breast? It is the ocean of Amrita that is from there. It is equivalent to that ocean of Amrita. Just a few drops of it is good enough for me to be becoming one great poet. It is that which has made you a great made the great poet. So that is the verse number 75. Any doubts, any questions? We will look for verse number 76. So now 76 is, he has moved further. So he is looking at the entire body. See, one of the reasons as to why a lot of commentators in the origin of Soundarya Lahari feel that this could not have been Acharya at all is because the way in which from verse number 41 onwards, the description and the physical description of Devi has been happening. So the physical description of Devi is so intimate that there are a lot of people who have commented saying that this could only be have written by Shiva himself. Nobody other than Shiva can know these sort of intimate details of what Devi is at the physical level also. Now, the counter to that is Acharya Shankar any non-different from Shiva? Was he not Shiva himself come down in a human form? And therefore, his knowing Devi, just because in a physical form, and that avatar, he took a form of being a celibate young brahmachari, does it mean that his knowledge is that of a brahmachari small baby? His knowledge is still infinite. It is the knowledge of Shiva. So there is no doubt, at least in my mind, that it is Acharya Shankar himself who has actually written these verses. So here we go for the next shloka.
Can I ask one question? I
Yes,
would like
please.
something more on Saraswati.
So Saraswati, we have already gone through in the earlier shlokas, but Saraswati, three things that she indicates. Number one, Saraswati, okay. When is Saraswati Puja done?
Ashtami Navami.
No.
Ashtami Navami.
That is a Lokachara. That is a Lokachara Puja.
Starts. We do it on Shashti and Saptami also. Now, during Navaratri.
That is because you are doing a Navaratri Puja, which is Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Swarupena Mahatripura Sundari Pujayam Karishye. That you are doing a puja to all three Devis. No. Saraswati Puja, when is that festival celebrated?
Vasanta Panchami.
Correct. Right? Now, knowledge has two forms. Laukika Vidya, Paravidya. Right? Laukika Vidya and Shastra Vidya. Let us put it like this. Now, Laukika Vidya, the ruler of Laukika Vidya is Saraswati. Same Devi in another form, Saraswati. So on Vasanta Panchami, you do puja to Saraswati, and then you start studying geography, history, mathematics, science, etc., etc. Till what point do you study? You study till you come to Rakhi Purnima. Then on Rakhi Purnima, what do? You change your sacred thread and you worship Gayatri. And then what do you study for the next 6 months? See, it is more or less exactly 6 months. right? February will be Vasanta Panchami. August will be Rakhi Purnima. So 6 months you study Laukika Vidya. 6 more months. What do you learn? Shastra Vidya. How? By invoking Gayatri. That is how the Gurukul was set up. Right? So Laukika Vidya is preferably studied during the hot months. Why? Because during those periods, you have longer days. You have longer days, more light, right? You can study. Whereas Shastra Vidya, you don't have to study much. You have to do manan much. So even if the day is short, it does not matter. I will read only 5 lines, but I will sit in meditation for 5 lines. Now, whether it is dark or light, it does not matter. Our rishis broke up all this so beautifully. So Saraswati, the first is she indicates the Laukika Vidya. Now, in the Laukika Vidyas, what is one of the Vidyas? It is called Nirukta, right? It is called Chanda. These are all the Laukika Vidyas, isn't it? The parts of the Vedangas, Chanda, Nirukta, these are prosody, poetic meters. Where do you study them? During the period from Vasanta Panchami to Rakhi Purnima. Now, prosody, creating rhyming meters, since that is under the control of, in the Laukika Vidya, so he uses the term Saraswatam Iva. Right? She also indicates Sattva Guna. Saraswati indicates Sattva Guna. So when she is indicating Sattva Guna means what? That the knowledge has to be absorbed and processed without agitation in the mind. Now, if I am seeing breasts of a woman and I am getting agitated, right? Or I am feeling, oh, I must have this. Then I am in either tamas or I am in rajas. But when I have overcome them, there will be no agitation in my mind, and therefore I will be in sattvic mode. That is why Saraswati. Right? Chaliye. Next, we will start with 76.
सर आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन कि
हाँ जी, बताइए.
आपने अभी बताया सरस्वती पूजन बसंत पंचमी टू राखी पूर्णिमा, देन राखी पूर्णिमा के बाद से पुनः हम उसी जगह पहुंच जाएंगे क्या बसंत पंचमी तक? 6 मंथ्स में गायत्री इन्वोकेट करके या उसको पूजा
हाँ,
करके?
सो 6 महीना हाँ, सो 6 महीना गायत्री की पूजा करने के बाद शास्त्र अध्ययन शुरू करेंगे. तो जहां हम लोगों ने लास्ट टाइम शास्त्र अध्ययन बंद किया था, ब्रह्मसूत्र पढ़ रहे थे, ब्रह्मसूत्र का चालू करेंगे वापस, या भगवत गीता पढ़ेंगे, या वेद उपनिषद पढ़ेंगे, जो भी पढ़ रहे हैं. फिर वो वेद उपनिषद इत्यादि पढ़ते जैसे वसंत पंचमी आएगी, उसके पहले वाले दिन चतुर्थी के दिन गणेश पूजा होगी. माघी गणेश पूजा होती है, माघी गणेश पूजा, राइट? Ganesh is the only one who has 2 birthdays. One is when he was born out of Parvati, and the second when he was born by Shiva, because Shiva put the head on him. तो उसके 2 जन्मदिन है.
The next जो 27th को जो आ रहा है वो शिव के द्वारा दिया हुआ है.
करेक्ट, वो शिव के दिया, इसीलिए इसको गणेश चतुर्थी बोलते हैं, उसको विनायक चतुर्थी बोलते हैं. इन लोग गलती से इसको विनायक चतुर्थी बोलते हैं. ये विनायक चतुर्थी नहीं है, वो वाला विनायक चतुर्थी है. विनायक, जो बिना नायक जन्मा था, he who is born without a father. That is why that Maghi Chaturthi is called Vinayaka Chaturthi. And then you worship Saraswati. That day you don't study, right? Usual हम लोग के class 10 तक हम लोग को पढ़ना होता था. वो today is Saraswati Puja. We will not study. My mother used to say, Saraswati Puja means you have to study more. You don't have to go and do the puja. Your puja is by studying. थप्पड़ मार के बैठा देती थी, पढ़ो. So there was no vacation, because February is right before हम लोग के exams used to be in March. So we used to be just before the exam, and no Saraswati Puja. All Saraswati Puja is in the book. So, which is actually true, right? Karma Yoga is the best puja. But anyway, we did not understand all that time. So, so that is...
There is reference... sorry. there is reference to Gayatri, Savitri, Saraswati. तो सावित्री का सवितुर से आया है।
हाँ, so
वो
गायत्री
भी
एक्चुअली,
सावित्री।
नहीं, एक्चुअली वो सवित्री है. सावित्री इज द देवी. गायत्री इज एक्चुअली द छंद. गायत्री इज नॉट द देवी. द
Okay.
देवी का नाम गायत्री नहीं है. देवी का नाम सावित्री है. राइट. तो सावित्री जो देवी है, उसकी उपासना इज डन इन द छंदसा कॉल्ड गायत्री, which has 24 shlokas. It broken up into the 3 padas. Right? So that is called the Gayatri Chandaha. That Gayatri Chanda can be, there are so many Gayatris. Right? One, there is the famous Gayatri, Surya Gayatri. Right? The Tatsaviturvarenyam, etc., etc. There is a Surya Devata Gayatri. Right? There is a Dharmashastra Gayatri, Vishnu Gayatri. Right? There are Gayatris for all of these. महादेव्यै च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो देवी प्रचोदयात्. लक्ष्मी गायत्री. वाग्देव्यै च विद्महे ब्रह्मपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो वाणी प्रचोदयात्. सरस्वती गायत्री. कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारी धीमहि
कन्याकुमारी.
तन्नो दुर्गी प्रचोदयात्. Mahakali, Mahadurga Gayatri. These are all Gayatris. These are all have the same meter, 24, broken up into 3 parts of 8 each. So Gayatri is the Chanda.
Knowledge and Manan. Knowledge and the meditation. So
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Right. So now breasts are over. He goes below the breasts now. Harakrodha Jwala Valibhi. हरक्रोधो ज्वालावलिभिर् अवलिढेन वपुषा. हरक्रोध ज्वालावलिभिर् अवलीढेन वपुषा. गभीरे तेनाभि सरसि कृतसंगो मनसिजः. गभीरे तेनाभि सरसि कृतसंगो मनसिजः. हरक्रोध ज्वालावलिभिर् अवलिढेन वपुषा. गभीरे तेनाभिः सरसि कृतसंगो मनसिजः. समुत्थस्थौ तस्माद् अचलतनये धूमलतिका. समुत्थस्थौ तस्माद् अचलतनये धूमलतिका. जनस्तां जानीते तव जननी रोमा वलिरिति. जनस्तां जानीते तव जननी रोमा वलिरिति. समुत्थस्थौ तस्माद् अचलतनये धूमलतिका. जनस्तां जानीते तव जननी रोमा वलिरिति. क्रोधज्वालावलिभिर् अवलिढेन वपुषा. गभीरे तेनाभिः सरसि कृतसंगो मनसिजः. समुत्थस्थौ तस्मादचलतनये धूमलतिका. जनस्तां जानीते तव जननी रोमा वलिरिति. Hara means Shiva. Krodha Jwala. Krodha Jwala, the fire, the burning fire that comes from his anger. Hara Krodha Jwala Vali, the collection, Vali. Deepavali. The word Deepavali means collection of Deepa. The Krodha Jwala Validihi, the collection of the fire which has come from Hara. Avalidhena Vapusha. Avalidhena means completely permeated. Vapusha means body. Gabhire, deep. Nabhi, your Nabhi, navel. Sarasi, lake. Gabhire te Nabhi Sarasi, deep navel lake of yours. Krita Sangha, he who has dipped into it. Manasija. Manasija means Kamadeva. He is born in the mind. So therefore he is called Manasija. Kamadeva. Tasmad, Samutthasto, coming from it. Tasmad, from it. Achala Tanaye. Achala means mountain. Tanaye, daughter. Dhuma Latika. Dhuma, smoke. Latika, streak, line. Janastam, people janite, treat it like janani tava, O mother yours, Roma valir iti, the line of hair that is coming from your navel rising up towards your middle of the chest, that thin line of hair is what is being described. Think of that, so much detail he has got. Now, what is he saying here? He is saying, Acha, how did Kamdev become alive again? Kamdev was killed, right? Kamdev was destroyed by the fire of Shiva's third eye. Rati, his wife, is a Devi Upasaka. We have seen this story when we were doing Lalita Sahasranam. And she was crying over the ashes of the dead body of her husband. The ashes became coalesced and became the body of Bhandasura. And Bhandasura was then killed by Lalita. That much we know. Correct? Shiva and Parvati have not yet got married. Bhandasura has come, Bhandasura has been destroyed. How did Kamadev come back alive again?
Because of Rati's prayers.
नहीं, I think महाभारत काल में कृष्ण के प्रपुत्र प्रद्युम्न के रूप में,
प्रपुत्र नहीं, पुत्र, रुक्मिणी पुत्र प्रद्युम्न. Yes.
Okay, yes.
So Rukmini's son Pradyumna was nothing but Kamadeva. And Kama, the bija for Kama is Kleem. The bija for Krishna is also Kleem. Remember the mantra Om Kleem Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Jana Vallabhai. Kleem Krishnaya. Bija Akshara is Kleem. Krishna also the bija Akshara is Kleem. So he who is who is all love, complete love, that is the person. So now what happened is, when Pradyumna was born, he got his arrogance, his pride got submerged in the love that came from Krishna. And therefore he got purified. And that body then became married back again to Rati, who was serving as a maid in the house of Pradyumna. Right? But how did he go there? How did he reach there? That is because of the blessing of Devi. Because Devi felt that, see, I did not ask for Kamadev to come and try to change the mind of Shiva. But he came. He came and he tried to do this. And whether he was trying to serve Indra or not, effectively he was trying to serve me. Right? And Kamadev was also one of the greatest upasakas of Devi. So she blessed him, saying that you will be reborn. She blessed Rati, because Rati is the actually Devi Upasaka. So she blessed Rati that you will get your husband back in a purified form, in a more beautiful form. Pradyumna is supposed to be more beautiful than Krishna himself. And more beautiful form when through the Yadava race in the Dwapara Yuga. So here when he is saying, Hara Krodha Jwala Validhi Avalidena Vapusha, which is, we have seen the story, right? His body was burning with the fire that was coming from the anger of Shiva. How did he quench that fire? So here the poet now becomes very imaginative. He says, he jumped into the lake, which is your navel. Your navel is like a lake of Amrita. And he jumped into it. Now, if you throw something burning into fire, what will happen? Some smoke will rise. धुआं निकलेगा ना? यदि आप एक कोयला, जलता हुआ कोयला किसी पानी में डालेंगे, तो क्या होगा? एक काला सा धुआं थोड़ा सा निकलेगा. ये काला जो धुआं है, धूमलतिका, ये वो जो लाइन है, वो लोग सोच रहे हैं कि ये तुम्हारे बाल है. वो नई बाल नहीं है, ये तुम्हारी लीला का प्रदर्शन है. That you saved Kamadeva by allowing him to be immersed in the lake of your navel. Now see this beauty. Firstly, Kamadeva has been addressed as Manasija. Manasija means he who is born out of the mind. Right? All our desires, where do they come from? They come from the mind. Kamadeva is not only physical attraction. Kamadeva is all desire. Desire, where does it come from? It comes from the mind. If I have to be saying that, no, it comes from the body, it can't be. See, the physical shape of my wife and the physical shape of my mother is very similar. But I feel an attraction, physical attraction to my wife. I do not feel a physical attraction to my mother because of my mind, not because of anything else. Right? इसीलिए हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, वो हिंदी मूवी में क्या बोलते हैं, बोले घर में माँ बहन नहीं है क्या? घर में माँ बहन नहीं है का मतलब कि मन के ऊपर कंट्रोल नहीं है क्या? दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट वर्ड. हम लोग उसको कुछ भी यूज करते हैं, वो अलग चीज है. So when you think of another woman, and what did Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa say? Look at every woman as the divine mother. Look at her as your own physical mother. So where is all this coming from? It's coming from the mind. And hence Acharya puts the word, the name for Kama as Manasija. And how does the Manasa, that which desire which is born from the mind, how can it get quenched? How can it get quenched? By surrender to her. And then the remnant of desire that will be left, what will happen to it? It will rise towards her breast. It will not be falling down. वो ऊपर जाएगा. किधर जाएगा? देवी के हृदय की ओर जाएगा. So देवी के आकार के अंदर में ही every part of that body of Devi is indicating how we are supposed to surrender. So when we see the thin line of hair originating from the navel, going up towards the chest, it is actually all the desires of my mind having been sublimated towards surrender into her will and not my will. Because if I do not surrender my desires, what will happen? Harakrodha jwala abhi avalidhena vapusha. Right? My mind will be turbulently burning with what? Why does क्रोध arise? Chapter 2 verse 62 में हम लोगों ने देखा था. भगवत गीता में हम लोगों ने chapter 2 verse 62 में देखा था. अटैचमेंट से क्या होता है? तो डिजायर आता है. डिजायर को मीट नहीं करते हैं तो क्या होता है? क्रोध आता है. That is the harak krodha, internal harak krodha, which will create that whole disturbance in my mind, ultimately making me fall down. So this verse is an indication of how we are supposed to surrender all our desires to her. At the same time, the poet is so very amazingly powerful in his ability to craft words that he's also simultaneously describing the physical beauty of Devi. Okay, let us now take up.
What is Vapusha?
Vapusha is body.
And Gabhire?
Gabhir means deep.
And Dachala, Tasmat Dachala. That is Tasmat Achala, is it?
Tasmat Achala. Tasmat Achala. Achala means mountain. Himachala, Vindhyachala.
Roma Vali Riti.
Roma Vali means line. Roma means hair. And
Riti?
Roma Valir Iti.
Acha, Roma Vali Riti. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Next we go to Yoga Meenakshi. सुधा सागरान्ते मणिद्वीपमध्ये सुधासागरान्ते मणिद्वीपमध्ये लसत्कल्पवृक्षोज्ज्वल द्विन्दुचक्रे लसत्कल्पवृक्षोज्ज्वलद्विन्दुचक्रे सुधासागरान्ते मणिद्वीपमध्ये लसत्कल्पवृक्षोज्ज्वलद्विन्दुचक्रे महायोगपीठे शिवाकारमञ्चे सदा सन्निषाणां भजे पाण्ड्यबालां सदा सन्निषाणां भजे पाण्ड्यबालां महायोगपीठे शिवाकारमञ्चे सदा सन्निषाणां भजे पाण्ड्यबालां सुधासागरान्ते मणिद्वीपमध्ये लसत्कल्पवृक्षोज्ज्वलद्विन्दुचक्रे महायोगपीठे शिवाकारमञ्चे सदा सन्निषाणां भजे पाण्ड्यबालां. What is the Indu Chakra? Lalita Sahasranamam classes, we have spoken about the Indu Chakra. See, the first line we have very clearly described. Sudha Sagara, Manidvipa. Both of these are there in the Lalita Sahasranam. Where does she live? She lives in the Sudha Sagara. Where is her house? It is in the Manidvipa. Right? The Manidvipa, when we were reading the Bhandasuravadha portion of the Lalita Sahasranama, when we were doing part of the Brahmanda Puranam, I was telling the story, we talked about the Manidvipa, right? How many walls it has, the walls of emerald and so on and so forth. We also saw that when we were doing the Soundarya Lahari in the beginning shlokas, where the description of where she stays, that also has been described. And when it was talking of the Sumeru, the Meru, the Meru, the chakras, that also has been described. What is Indu Chakre? That has not been described. So think and tell me, what is the meaning of Indu Chakre? सुधासागरान्ते मणिद्वीपमध्ये, समझ में आ गया. लसत कल्प वृक्ष, वो भी समझ में आ गया. कल्प वृक्ष, all over the place there are wish giving trees. लसत कल्प वृक्ष, उज्ज्वत इंदु चक्रे. What is Indu Chakre? What is the meaning of Indu?
Indu means the moon. Indu
Correct.
means the moon.
Okay, so what is the Indu Chakra?
इंदु जिसकी परिक्रमा करता है पृथ्वी.
Does it mean the final bindu on the Meru?
No. Okay, what is the chakra do?
अपनी ही अक्ष पर घूमता है. अपने अक्ष
Very
पर
good.
घूमता है.
Correct. Now, Indu, चांद अपनी अक्ष पर घूमेगा. When the moon rotates on its own axis, what does it do as far as you are concerned?
वो अपने ही अक्ष पर घूमेगा.
Show its full face.
Then now it is
उसके
rotating.
बाद अपनी कलाएं घटते हुए. Yes,
Correct.
घटते अमावस्या भी आएगी.
Correct. So जब इंदु चक्र की बात कर रहे हैं तो वो क्या बात कर रहे हैं? वो समय की बात कर रहे हैं. As the ruler of time, Indu Chakra, it is the ruler of time. When the moon moves in a chakra, which means when the moon is rotating, we will see the kalas of the moon. 16 kalas. We will see the 16 Nitya Devis. Right? We have seen the Nityas, right? Nitya Klinga Rupa and all that we have seen when we were doing Lalita Sahasranamam. So Nitya is all those 16 Devis who form each of the kalas of these Devi. Shodasha Kala Sampurna. She is full of all the 16 colors. And that is why when we see the full moon, it is her form. Correct? So that she is the ruler of that time. So Indu Chakra Madhye. Right? Mahayoga Pithe. Right? What is this Yoga Pitha? What is this Mahayoga Pitha? The Mahayoga Pitha has been described in the next words. Shivakara Manche. Now, what are the Shivakara Manche? What are the, we have seen that in Lalita Sahasranam. Can you think of it? Think of the asana on which she is sitting.
पद्मासन.
No. जिस आसन के ऊपर बैठी है उस आसन का नाम क्या है? पंच प्रेत सनासीना. Correct?
Yes.
What is this Pancha Preta Sanasina? What is that Pancha Preta? The 5 forms of Shiva. In one description, the 5 forms of Shiva. Another description, it means Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Rudra, Ishana, and Indra. These 5. Whatever. 5 terrific forms of Shiva. What are the 5 forms that we normally talk about? We talk about them when we look at Kailash also, isn't it? We see the 5 forms of Shiva. Tatyojatam, Tatpurusham, Aghoram, Vamadevam, Ishana. These are the 5 forms of Shiva. She is sitting on them. Go back to verse number 1 of Soundarya Lahari. Right? Go back to Lalita Sahasranam, Pancha Preta. These are 5 pretas. They cannot move without the consciousness imbibed from Devi. So therefore, he is describing her as saying, Mahayoga Pite Shivakara Manche Sada Sannishanam. She who is always visible. She is always visible. She is never invisible. What does this mean? Everything that you see around you, what is that? It is Devi. Everything. Every smallest atom that you see has been born out of her. Brahmadhyanta Pipilika Janani. Right? Brahma Paryanta, Pipilika Paryanta, she is the Janani of all of these. She has created this and she is this. Ishavasya Vidagam Sarvam, Isha Upanishad mein bolte hain. She has permeated, she has become this. It is not she has permeated. She is this. And hence, wherever I am looking, Agastya says, wherever I am looking, what am I seeing? I am seeing only you, my mother. Please go ahead. You wanted to ask.
There is one Shannam Nishannam in Soundarya Lahari. I don't know which slokam, but it comes like that. Nishannam. What would be the opposite of Nishannam?
Nishannam would be.
I think it's the 3rd or 4th.
Nishannam would be Ashannam most probably. Let me check. Give me 1 second.
What does it say in the next word? Sannishana.
Tada, always. Ta, properly. Nishannam, being visible. Nishannam. नहीं अभी डायरेक्टली नहीं मिल रहा है मुझे को देखना पड़ेगा ये देख के बताता हूँ बट सदा सन्निशानाम is basically essentially means she who is always visible. Bhaje Pandya Balam, that we know what is the meaning. चलिए.
What is Lasat Kalpa Vriksha?
Sorry, Nasat.
Lasat Kalpa.
Lasat means glowing.
Lasat Kalpa Vrikshojvala.
Glittering, Lasati, shining. Right? Lasat Kalpa Vriksha.
Sorry, the word Nishannam Shannam, it comes in Tatil Lekha Tanveem Tapana Shashi Vaishwanar Mayim Nishannam Shannam Apipari Kamalanam Tavakalam. It comes there.
Okay. Good. Nice that you found it. चलिए. शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरे ओम।
धन्यवाद।